Well, thank you again for coming. And today's a very important day for us. This is our opportunity to award the Woman of Distinction Award to our third recipient. The first recipient, Alma Jacobs. The second recipient is Commissioner Arkush. She was unable to be here. She did try, but she had an all-day commitment, and she was going to run over in the morning or run over at lunchtime, and it was really not really possible to do that. But we applaud her for her efforts. This award honors a woman who has demonstrated leadership, integrity, and excellence in her personal and her professional life. She will have had a profound impact within her career path and throughout the community. She will have served as a role model to other women, and through her leadership will have contributed to the well-being of the entire community. So each year we select a woman that we believe fits these parameters. Today we have with us the chair of Gwynedd Mercy University, here to introduce the 2016 and third recipient of the Montgomery County Foundation Woman of Distinction Award, Dr. Kathleen Owens. We're going to introduce Nancy Dunleavy, the CEO of Dunleavy and Associates, and also chair, as I said, of the Gwynedd Mercy, I'm going to stop talking at some point, University Board of Trustees. But I need to just one little quip for Nancy is that when I first went to the foundation, she got me the first fund that we got to take in as a permanent endowment fund, the Whitpain Recreation Prophecy Park. With that, Nancy Dunleavy.
Thank you. So I'm going to move the little step stool out of the way because Dr. Owens will need that when she comes up to the podium. Sorry. Well, they're wondering what it is, Kathy. So good afternoon. It's such a great privilege to be here, and this is indeed a special treat for me to have been invited to introduce a trusted colleague and my friend, the esteemed Dr. Kathleen Owens. As chair of the board of the university trustees, I have come to know Kathy and her leadership style extremely well, having served side by side for 10 years as a trustee and 5 as chair of the board. And if you are not familiar with it, the relationship between a university president and the board chair is in a lot of ways, a sacred partnership. It's really reliant on trust, respect, and authenticity. Coincidentally, these are 3 of the 4 cornerstones that Kathy's leadership rests upon. The 4th is faith. Now, I could use my 3 minutes to do an interpretive reading of Kathy's bio. I'll let you do that yourself. Actually, I'm not even, see, I should follow my notes here because I was supposed to say an interpretive reading of KO's bio, which is my nickname for Kathy Owens. And one time, a former trustee, a great friend of the university, took me aside and said to me, Nancy, why do you call her KO? Is she like a boxer who knocks out, people? And I stopped and I said, oh my goodness, absolutely not. But she does knock out obstacles, and actually it made me stop and think about how ironic it is that my shorthand for her initials really is emblematic of her performance as our president. She, along with those whose leadership she inspires, some of whom are here with us today, she has been able to knock out many of the barriers to Gwynedd Mercy University's growth and success. But not in the way that a boxer would, more in the way that a ballerina would. Kathy exhibits grace and competency in every situation. She, along with the team that she has assembled, has accomplished some incredible acts through preparation, collaboration, and determination. During her 15 years as our president, and by the way, the national average for university president is 7 years. So again, demonstrating that she dramatically outperforms the average. Kathy has led the successful journey for Gwynedd Mercy College's transition to Gwynedd Mercy University. Her team has developed a cadre of new academic programs at the undergraduate, graduate, and now doctoral level in nursing and education. And after, completing a really ambitious campus master plan and transportation plan, the campus has many new buildings and some, dramatically renovated improvements for our students, alumni, and neighbors. University Hall, the newest academic building, houses our schools of business and education, and that was dedicated in March, and it really changed the landscape. So lots of times I encounter people who live in Gwynedd Valley who say, oh my goodness, I love your campus. It's where we walk every day. It's beautiful. And now, actually through some of the great support that we've received from the Senate and House, in particular Representative Harper, we're going to be able to implement some of the plan that we have for our campus, pathways to success. So the walkers in the room, you're going to be thrilled. During her time, she has helped us increase and grow in both students and in philanthropy. We have locations in 3 sites other than our Gwynedd Valley main campus, and through Dr. Owen's work, she was able to secure the largest charitable gift in the university's history, resulting in the named School of Nursing, the Francis M. McGuire School of Nursing and Health Professions. Our capital campaign exceeded its goal in 9 months before the campaign ended and really was transformational in a lot of ways. I would say that I could go on and on and on, but I promised my friend Virginia that I would stick to the script, and I will do that. Please join me in honoring a true woman of distinction, my friend and colleague Kathy Owens.
Maybe I don't need the stool there, so is this okay? Is this okay? Well, it is really my great pleasure to be here today to accept this prestigious award. I express great appreciation to the board of the Montgomery County Foundation, and especially to President Virginia Franz and Vice President Jody Button for this tremendous honor. I'm humbled to follow in the footsteps of former recipients Alma Jacobs and Dr. Valerie Arkush, both of whom I know and respect greatly. I am thrilled that this occasion gives me a brief opportunity to share some of my thoughts and experiences about women in leadership. And when I asked Virginia and Jody if there was some topic in particular that they thought I might address, they suggested that I say a few words about the challenges for women in the workplace. Thus, I thought I would begin my presentation with a little verse that I have titled, "Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, Reflections and Wrinkles." Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the smartest of them all? If you think the CEO, there's so much more you need to know. In fact, I was reminded of this recently when an associate of mine said to me, "Kathy, do you know that there are many similarities between a university president and a cemetery superintendent?" As I looked at him, He went on to say, yes, each of you have many people under you and nobody's listening. So, as a woman, many of the challenges that I face are certainly similar to the ones you all face. And this topic is especially appropriate this year as we deal with so many unknowns on the political and economic horizon. Thus, the topic of this year's workshop, Women in this forum on striving and thriving in the workplace, could not be more important. And while I do believe that today's opportunities for women are unrivaled, professional women do face challenges and inequities. For example, women are still paid less than men across professions. Women are underrepresented in C-suite positions and on boards, and studies have shown that women must work harder for a pay raise or a promotion. According to the Institute for Women's Policy Research, a leading DC think tank, women make up almost half of the workforce in the United States. They are the equal, if not the main breadwinner in 4 out of 10 families. They receive more college and graduate degrees than men. In fact, in the United States now, 58% of all college and university students are women. Yet on average, women continue to earn considerably less than men, about 80 cents for every dollar earned by a man, a gender wage gap of about 20%. Now, women have made tremendous strides in the last few decades by moving into jobs and occupations previously done almost exclusively by men. Yet during the last few decades, there's been very little progress in the gender integration of work. In some industries and occupation, like construction, there really has been very, very little progress made. This persistent occupational segregation is a primary contributor to the lack of significant progress in closing the wage gap. As evidence of some of the occupational strides that have been made over the last few decades, let me share a personal story about my first job as a high school biology teacher in the city of Chicago. At age 25, I was preparing to take my first maternity leave at the end of my 8th month. When I completed the paperwork and submitted it to the appropriate office, I was informed that I needed to turn in my keys at the end of the day. Back then, this was a long time ago, the policy was that you could work until your 5th month. Now, to tell you the truth, I don't know if I was really aware of this policy or not, but because I was in good health, I continued to work well beyond my 5th month, and because I was small, nobody suspected I was in my 8th month. And I recall being outraged by that decision. Thus, my husband and I decided to contact the ACLU, which subsequently intervened and got the rule changed. Because the birth of my son was then imminent, we actually had to find another woman in the Chicago Public Schools willing to carry the case forward. And we did win, and the policy for the Chicago Public Schools was changed. Now, aside from pay equity and the growth and enhancement of policies, another great concern for me is the gender imbalance of women on boards and in the C-suite. The Forum for Executive Women is a Philadelphia area organization that is made up of executive women who are really working to increase the number of women in boards and in the C-suite. And each year we prepare an annual report called Women on Boards, where we track the progress of women on boards and in the C-suite here in the greater Philadelphia area. This year, the year's report shows that we're beginning to make some progress in making a difference. More companies have women on their boards compared to the previous year, though progress to gender parity in the boardroom and C-suite is far from complete. As an indicator of progress over the last year, among the top 100 companies in our region, the number of boards that have no women, 0 women, decreased from 35 to 27. And the companies that have at least 25% of women on their boards increased from 14 to 19%. While this is encouraging, it is certainly not enough to eradicate the gender imbalance, since the overall percentage of women on boards moved from 13% last year to 14% overall this year. The news about gender parity in the C-suite is less heartening. Only 6 out of the 10 top 100 public companies listed in our Women on Boards report have a female CEO. We know that women make up more than 50% of the wealth in this country and over 50% of the consumers. Women need a voice where the decisions that affect them are being made. The reality is that gender balance is important in order to foster diversity of thought in any organization. According to Suzanne Mays, who is the current president of the forum and a partner at Cozen O'Connor, and I quote, "In reality, gender balance is more than an equity issue. It's a strategic issue important to the health of an organization. There is a benefit to an organization from having fresh eyes and fresh perspectives," close quotes. In the for-profit world, research suggests that public companies with women on their boards perform better financially on a number of measures. Credit Suisse also found a financial advantage when companies have women in their executive ranks. It seems pretty clear that benefits come with a diverse leadership team, both in the boardroom and in the C-suite, that really does reflect an organization's client base or the marketplace. So when I look in the mirror at both my reflection and many wrinkles, what advice does my experience allow me to share with you about the challenges that women face in the workplace? While my career has been almost exclusively in higher education, I have served on a variety of boards representing many different priorities. So based on what now is my 50th year in my professional life, I have a top 10 learnings list that I wish to share with you. Number 1, know your core values and beliefs. What are your underlying principles that will guide your actions and where you will not compromise? Identify these core values and write them down. Don't compromise on your values and beliefs. You may need to make tough decisions, and it was remarkable hearing the women in the panel talking about the decisions that they made in the career shifts that they made, and the kinds of decisions that one makes as a leader. Because you may at some point need in your career to make tough decisions, but knowing that your decisions are aligned with your values and beliefs will allow you to live with yourself. So that is critically important. Number 2, find your passion. If you can find your passion, work will bring you great joy and satisfaction. I consider my job a vocation that encompasses not only the things I value most, but also gives me the opportunity to share the many benefits that I have experienced as a function of my education. The opportunity, and our mantra at the university, the opportunity to put students first, in all that we do at the university not only helps students to achieve their personal and professional goals, but enables our graduates and the university to make a contribution to society in a productive and valued way. Number 3, develop a plan. I do believe at some point you need to create a vision for yourself and prepare a plan that includes certain benchmarks. You need to have a vision of where you want to go. You must be able to see yourself in the role you are seeking, and you need to be able to imagine yourself in that role first. Because if you can't think it or see it, you're not going to do it. Your success, in the broadest sense of that term, starts in your mind's eye. Number 4, serendipity. Look for opportunities to be lucky. Your serendipitous experiences will increase with a plan because you know where you want to go. When I was finishing my doctoral degree with the goal to continue teaching in higher education, a serendipitous occasion arose. The dean of the school at Loyola University Chicago, where I was an adjunct faculty member and finishing my PhD, was chairing a regional accreditation, a North Central accreditation visit. It's similar to the Middle States Association here that accredits all the colleges and universities. And he asked me to accompany him and assist him in this role. I saw this as an opportunity to broaden my horizons and learn more about accreditation, and I did a decent job. And it was his then alerting me to a faculty position and his subsequent recommendation that led me to my first full-time faculty appointment at Lewis University near Chicago. Number 5, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail, but you need to learn from every failure. It's okay to look back and assess whatever that failure might have been, but don't dote at it. Identify the learnings, the takeaways from the failure, and move forward. I have an example of one of my wrinkles. As I was about ready to enter the workforce full-time, I had been teaching at a community college and applied for a full-time position at the community college. I was the candidate of choice. I was recommended by my faculty colleagues and the dean. I had a great teaching record and evaluations, but I didn't get the job. The vice president selected someone else. On that occasion, I found myself asking, who is this person that can make that kind of a decision? As much as I disliked him at the time, I would put him in the role of unintentional mentor, because I used that experience to understand more deeply the workings of higher education, which led me in a different direction, for which I am very grateful. And the truth be told, right now, I might have made the very same decision that he made. So don't be afraid to fail. Number 6, hire people that are smarter than you. At Lewis University, I was hired into a relatively small education department, and I was expected to teach a whole variety of subjects, but especially science education. And for years, I was a faculty member and eventually was appointed department chair and director of graduate programs. During my tenure, I was fortunate to work with colleagues who had strengths that were different from mine, and we complemented one another in growing the department and achieving great gains. During those years, I learned about the importance of hiring the best people who were a heck of a lot smarter than me, people who could make the whole greater than the sum of the parts, and from whom I was not afraid to learn. Number 7, don't be risk averse. In the late 1980s, I moved into a position of Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences at Lewis University. Now, you may not believe this, but my largest department in the College of Arts and Sciences was an aviation department. Now, I could spend the rest of the afternoon telling you aviation stories, but I'll spare you. Suffice it to say that my dean years were a period of some risk-taking, since I knew there was a great opportunity to move the long-standing, all-male, but wonderful colleagues' aviation department in a stretching direction. It just so happened in the mid-1980s there was a growing interest at the federal level in aviation education, and I became very active in the Aviation Education Accrediting Association. I found myself elected to some national boards, and I was visiting some of the best aviation schools in the nation, Embry-Riddle in Daytona Beach. They had a campus in Phoenix. I was at the University of North Dakota, involved in their programs in moving aviation education forward and creating new curriculum. And this was besides learning a lot. I was buying and selling airplanes on my campus and so much more. And I put together a rather prominent aviation advisory board for the university that has, over the years, led to some significant gifts and prominent connections for the aviation program. And I met some remarkable people. But none of this, however, would have happened if I had been satisfied with the status quo. You need to be able to take some managed risks in order to move forward personally and professionally. Number 8, don't undervalue political savviness. In my experience, to continue advancing in the workforce, it takes not just technical skill, but political savvy. No one can afford to be apolitical if she aspires to advance to another position or another level. While technical competence is important, in my experience, political savvy is a leadership skill that can be a key differentiator in an individual's success. Actually, I believe that political savviness is really about emotional intelligence. It is about understanding the importance of building collaborative interpersonal relationships, building trust, maintaining one's composure, and being able to put people at ease. This involves mastering soft skills like communication and teamwork and carrying through with every aspect of your job. These skills, in my experience, are valuable for women at any stage of their career. For someone just starting in a new position, they can help build rapport among colleagues and get you off on the right foot. For those aspiring to upper levels of management, they can help build trust across the organization and make you more effective as a leader and as a team member. Number 9, maintain optimal wellness. Pay attention to your own health and well-being. Take the time for yourself. And I heard this in the panel discussion. I know it's easier said than done, but without your health, your plans can be moot. And finally, number 10, don't wait to express gratitude. This is a lesson I learned the hard way. I had a wonderful colleague as I was growing the School of Education in my early years. She was a little older than me, but I was the department chair. I had a great relationship with her, and I learned so much from her. She certainly knew that I respected and admired her, but I never said, "Thank you, Shirley, I have learned so much for you." She passed away several years ago with my thank you never spoken. The university did establish a scholarship in her name, and I was pleased to make a contribution that certainly eased my conscience, but I wish I had said thank you and let her know what a great influence she had been on my life. So that being said, I don't want to make the same mistake again. So let me once again extend a generous and heartfelt thank you to the Montgomery County Foundation and to each and every one of you for your presence and gracious attention. Thank you.
Did we pick right or what? She didn't even hear the first couple of speakers, and you basically honed in on everything that was discussed this morning. And so we are confirmed that we picked the right person.
Thank you. It's a real privilege.
I'd like Representative Harper and Mara. Mara Barai. Mara is from the Montgomery County Commission on Women and Families.
On behalf of Dr. Valerie Arkush and the County Commissioners, and on behalf of the Montgomery County Commission on Women and Families, it's my honor to be able to present you with this proclamation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all your time and dedication.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
How nice that all the attendees got to see a woman of distinction tell you that she got there by doing all the things that we learned about this morning, huh? Pretty good. I'm State Representative Kate Harper, and I've brought with me a House citation for Dr. Kathy Owens as Woman of Distinction. A House citation is not a traffic ticket.
All right.
Okay? It's got a bunch of whereases and therefores, but it basically brings with it the congratulations of your 13 million fellow Pennsylvanians on this honor, which is richly deserved. And they don't give out a House citation for everything. You have to prove that the person is worthy of the recognition. And I had no trouble proving that Kathy Owens was worthy of being a woman of distinction and getting a House citation. So, Kath, I'd like to present this to you, if you'll come over here.
Okay. Wow.
Doing a Facebook shot. Did you get it, Nancy? Nancy's doing a Facebook shot. You got it. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, thank you. This is mine. This is mine.
So we're going to ask Dr. Owens for a copy of her 10, what is it, the 10 best?
Learnings.
10 learnings, so that Representative Harper had a great idea, so we'll run it by her later, but in the meantime, we want a copy of it. The Montgomery County Foundation and the Board of Directors are happy to announce, as part of the award, that we will be giving a $500 gift to Project Home, which was Dr. Owens's choice for a charitable donation. So, in summation, we thank you all for being here and for helping us to honor Dr. Owens, and for learning, and for hopefully walking out of here with new resolve for new actions. For each of you, as is tradition now, we have a copy of the book called Playing Big. This book was provided by the generous donations of Cindy DeCiani. She's walking out now. She's probably guarding the books, right? And Marcia and Kirk Field. Where is Dr. Field? Right back here, also a board member. So, thank you all for coming. Go out and take action. Thank you.